Hi friend, Potato here. Let's talk about Italki today. So far, I've done almost 40 lessons on Italki, and I've noticed that essentially there are only two ways to approach your speaking lessons. Obviously, there are many more ways of using Italki. You can take grammar lessons, learn from zero, there are even people using it for public speaking. But today, I wanted to focus only on speaking lessons. The lessons you take to improve your speaking ability in your target language. And there are only two ways to do those: a prepared way and a freestyle way. Let's look at both: how to approach, how to prepare, and at the end, I will give you a bulletproof strategy to elevate your speaking skills with Italki. Ultimately, you do some kind of preparation before the lesson, and you go into your lesson already knowing what you're going to talk about. It is quite popular among teachers and students to find the news articles and discuss them during the lesson, which is totally cool if you enjoy that. Personally, I don't think there are any interesting enough articles for me to talk about for 30, 45 or 60 minutes. I feel like you just end up sitting there with a teacher and milking questions and answers to the topic neither of you really care about. As a result, speaking lessons become a chore to you rather than something you're looking forward to. Thus, there is a way better way to make a prepared lesson. First, you need to choose a topic, then make up some decent questions and maybe find some stats. Familiarize yourself with the relevant vocabulary and maybe spice it up with new grammar that you recently learned. Potato, how do I find a good topic to talk about? You tell me. It is your lesson. What do you want to discuss with the person on the other end of computer? This will heavily depend on why you are using Italki. Do you want to become conversational and make friends? Or are you an expert in a certain field and now you are looking for a way to talk about your field of knowledge in a new language? Let's talk about more casual approach to talking though. A great place to start is to talk about your interests. Why? Because it is what you would discuss with your friends, right? Let's brainstorm. Personally, I like anime, cooking, language learning, gardening, and maybe traveling. Just knowing a topic is not enough. You need to break it down into smaller subtopics, bits and pieces. Let's see. I like anime, quite a broad topic. I like One Piece, Black Clover, and Spy Family. Is this good enough? Can I talk about why I like each of these for 30 minutes? Sure, but it might be difficult to drag it out. Such service level conversations are one-time thing and might be very boring for the other person. So let's break it down even more. Spy Family. What comes to mind? I can talk about spies, maybe post-Cold War, superpowers, cosplay, merchandise, maybe what Japanese people think about it, what do European people think about it, cute mascot character, etc, etc, etc. Each of this I can work with. Each of these is a great topic and actually can spread onto more than one lesson. Let's do one more. Cooking. I guess I can talk about different cuisines, recipes, buying ingredients, prices, cooking and eating culture, relationship with food, and again, I can go deeper and deeper on each of those. It all comes down to what you're interested in. Think about what you want to discuss, what you want to share, and also what you want to learn from the other person. You can obviously discuss much more deeper topics, like I wanted to talk to my teacher about monarchy the other day, and I wanted to discuss monarchy in the UK and Japan. Another lesson we talked about beauty standards and expectations, which both can be broad and specific topics. You can discuss just overall beauty standards, or you can also cover how it influenced you when you were growing up, what you notice about other countries' expectations when you travel, maybe compare men and women, etc. The more specific the topic is, the easier it is to talk about it. How do you come up with good questions to ask yourself and to ask your teacher? Brainstorming is great. Also, think Google. Use Google Complete to give yourself general idea of what people are talking about. Let's put Spike's family Anya into the Google Complete. Okay, Damian, it's a boy who likes Anya in the series. It's complicated. Question: What do you think about young character love stories in anime? What did you think about that when you were young? Has your perspective changed since then? Do not blame yourself if the questions don't pop up into your head right away. Take some notes, they will come to you when you have a clear head during the day. Now, the ultimate weapon. ChatGPT. Your goal? Create 5 to 10 questions, depending on your lesson length and how complicated they are. Make your prompt to ChatGPT as specific as possible. Ask Chat to make interesting or deep or maybe inspiring questions. Most important thing is to, rather than asking Chat, please make me 5 questions about Spy X Family anime, you have to include the subtopic that you chose in your brainstorm. So something like, please make me 5 questions about Spy X Family and Cold War. Adjust the questions, make changes, and when you're satisfied with your questions, ask Chat to translate them into your target language. Then, try responding to them in any language. This will give you an idea of what type of words and grammar you need to know. If you struggle to respond to the questions or seeking some inspiration, ask Chat to respond to them for you, whatever language you want. This will give you an idea about vocabulary and grammar. You can also ask Chat bluntly, what are the 30 essential words I should know in blah 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 language to talk about blah 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 topic. Your end-up result should be a neat set of questions and vocabulary/grammar you'll be practicing before your lesson. This is also a great time to search up any interesting statistics or facts that you would like to share. If you end up with whole paragraphs of responses to each question with carefully curated vocabulary and not a single grammar mistake, delete it. Do not be a person who writes out a whole speech, rehearses it, and spits it out onto the teacher. Are you trying to learn how to speak or what? Obviously, study the vocabulary and be mentally prepared. Maybe go through it in your head when you're going for a walk or you're in a shower or something else. But imagining yourself responding to each question in your head can be very helpful. Also, be prepared that the conversation might go into a weird direction. So don't panic if you find yourself needing absolutely different vocabulary and grammar. You will do way better the next time. But to avoid that, share your intention and topic with your teacher in advance. Tell them about the topic you want to discuss, as well as share the questions you created so you won't be the one conducting an interview and it would seem more of a conversation. Even if the teacher is not the biggest fan of the topic you chose, it will allow them to prepare in advance. It is always great to discuss topics and interests with your teacher in your introductory lesson, as well as how personal they are ready to get with you. Just one last thing. If you're truly passionate about a topic, people will listen to you attentively and with interest, especially if you pay them. The thing about life is that you can't always prepare for what's about to come. When you visit a country of your target language as a tourist, you don't know whether you'll have to fight the border control officer or a taxi driver trying to scam you. Thus, maybe spending hours and hours preparing to talk to your teacher is not the way to go. Maybe you should come, smile, and just see where the mood will take it. Since you do not have prepared material, this will depend a lot on your mood, your teacher's experience, and your connection. The faster you can move from the small talk to an actual conversation, the better. And that will really depend on your relationship. What I'm trying to say is that choosing a correct teacher is essential. Do not be scared and afraid that you won't find a topic. You are not a boring person. And there are so many ways to develop a small talk question. Complain about weather. Then talk about a country where you would rather live. What did you do on the weekend? Nothing? You went food shopping? Great. Ask your teacher about specifics of the food shopping in their country. What do people usually buy? Is there anything particularly expensive compared to the other countries? Maybe talk about your job, if you want to. This is pretty much how most of my lessons go these days. And they really end up going into weird directions, like massive slugs in the UK, my phobia of needles, or how much I like Warren Buffett compared to other men with money. And that's the beauty of it. You don't know where it will take you, but you know that it will be extremely helpful to you. At the end of the lesson, you will know exactly what you are missing, in terms of vocabulary you should know, what grammar you can't recall, etc. In my opinion, this is the best way to build your vocabulary, as rather than looking at some random list and trying to decide whether or not you need each word in your memory bank, or thoughtlessly remembering every word you see, after one lesson, you'll have a list of words that you do not know, but you actually should know, as you use them in your everyday speech. Boom, success! However, you still need to prepare for the lesson. There are 3 things you might consider doing. First, before your lesson, warm up. Read something, preferably aloud in your target language, or watch a video. Do a grammar exercise, whatever. You need to warm up and prepare your brain to start working in a different language. Otherwise, you might struggle getting into conversation right away. 2. Make a small note of grammar or a few words you want to sneak into your conversation. 3. Research how to make your speech better. If you're lucky enough, your language has some kind of book that talks about sentence patterns or the way for you to sound less robotic and more natural. If you're not lucky, well, use Google, ChatGPT, ask your friends, or better ask your teacher how to sound more natural. Essentially, when your lesson is done in a freestyle way, you prepare your delivery rather than topic. You cannot get better by just talking and talking. You need to do the work behind the scenes. If you can, and your teacher is cool with that, record your conversations. Rewatch them to spot your mistakes and weak points. Obviously, study a new vocabulary that you made during the lesson. This leads me to give you a mega super duper cool wow bam strategy. So, step 1, do a freestyle lesson. Step 2, create a topic and vocabulary based on the past lesson. Step 3, do a prepared lesson based on that with a different teacher. For example, you ended up talking with your teacher about the effects of social media on your generation. Do a bit more research, learn a few new words, create interesting questions, and discuss the same topic with a different teacher. See if you have improved your speech, sentence structure, vocabulary, etc. If you still don't like the way your conversation is coming out, do it again with another teacher. Indeed, do it until you feel like you are amazing at it. Boom! Success! Just before you go, 3 more things you should keep in mind. First, make sure your lessons are a conversation, not a monologue. Let your teacher speak. It will improve your comprehension and also give you a bit of time to rest. I know there are a lot of teachers who just throw a question after question at you before you even finished your thought. Probably that teacher doesn't really feel you. Change them. 2. When you get too comfortable, you stop progressing. I believe that you need to put yourself into a bit of a stressful situation to learn. If you feel like you're doing great, it might be the time to find another teacher with a different accent and maybe different style and pace. You need to constantly challenge yourself in order to progress. 3. If you're still unsure whether or not you are ready for speaking lessons, just do it, especially on Italki, where you get free trial lessons. Do not wait until you learn a specific number of words or grammar. You will learn as you go. Don't worry about how much you already know and get excited about how much you will learn. Thank you for coming today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share your Italki experience in the comments. Bye!